Hello, magical souls. I am so delighted to be talking to Moira today. Moira is an Akashic record reader, and we have seen Moira on the Facebook group as Moira with the crystals. But today we're going to actually be talking to Moira all about her experience as an Akashic record reader, so that she can introduce herself and tell us a little bit more about her journey. So do you want to start, Moira, and tell us a bit about your journey? Where have you come from? Tell us it.
Yes, so thank you, Catherine. So I would say when I was 12, I read a book on reincarnation that my sister had, and I was at an all-girls Catholic school, but I just thought it was completely normal, didn't tell the teachers about it, obviously. And then when I was 15, I remember thinking, God doesn't punish you. And then when I was 21 or so, finished university, I got an HND instead of a degree, and it all just started going a little bit off, basically, and I didn't know where I was going, what my direction was. I just knew that I just wasn't very happy in my life, and I definitely went through the darkest night for a few years. So I then went into, my friend actually booked me and my then boyfriend at the time, to this show which was all with spiritual people, and I just saw this woman talking, and she started describing the darkest night and all of this, and I thought, oh my God, this makes so much sense. And I went up to her actually afterwards. We were watching somebody else speaking. I sat right next to her and I said, you know, what you've described, this is what I'm feeling. Am I going through the darkest night? And she said, yes, you are, but don't worry, this is just your soul kind of coming back in and letting you know where you need to be in your life now. I then met at that same show a beautiful lady called Letty Van Tol, who then ended up being my crystal teacher, and I held the crystal, and I just remember holding it, and then I passed it to my boyfriend. She said, oh, that will need cleansing, hold on, let me check it. And she checked it and doubts, and she said, oh, it doesn't need cleansing, that's unusual. So that was my first literally just moment of, I didn't think anything of it at the time, to be honest, but came home and started collecting crystals. I then ended up doing a crystal diploma at the age of 25, and although I had my bread and butter kind of work, I started really healing from about the age of 27, 28. So I've always been a healer. Then had children. I've done lots of other healings like vortex healing, Rohani healing, star Reiki, etc. When I had kids, though, although I still was doing training, I wasn't doing tons and tons. And then after kids, it just felt like it was just a whole new wave of, right, what am I going to do with my life now? And that's when I then found Katherine, very luckily, and I studied the Merkaba with her, and then she trained me in the Akashic Records, and it's just been, life just been so much easier since then. I just feel feel a lot more complete, a lot more happy, and that I've got my purpose now. I can actually help a lot more people now by doing the Akashic Records, and that's what I was told. You need to be doing something different that's going to help lots of people. I was thinking, what is that? And then you came in. It was like, oh, perfect timing. So synchronicities, abound. Good synchronicities. So it's amazing.
Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely. And I'm quite interested in, have you noticed sort of any patterns that are showing up in your readings? I appreciate that every reading is different, but perhaps, you know, the guides are sending you a specific type of client. I ask the guides to send me the types of clients that really need to hear from me at any one time. And I know you do the same, and I was just wondering, what are you noticing? Are there specific patterns coming up?
Yeah, I'd say that the main ones, especially at the moment, have been people who are, you know, especially after having been in lockdown and really rethinking what is it that I want in my life now, and really thinking, I don't want this job anymore, maybe I don't want this job anymore, and just needing really solid direction or some help, soulful help, which is obviously what the Akashic Records do, of the next step forwards. And yeah, it's very much about helping to let them know that they are on the right path, and if they're not, that they only need to do a little shift, and that they are supported and loved, you know, by all their guides and guardians. They're never alone. Those are the main ones that I get. Also people who have loved ones who have passed over, so say parents, that thing. I've had some beautiful messages come through from their loved ones specific to them, which has been, it's just really honoring and really healing at the same time. And that's what I love about the Akashic Records, because it's very different to a psychic reading. This is, you know, very much a soul reading and really nurturing and nourishing. So those are the main ones I get. But yeah, they've all been different, but that's been the main theme at the moment for me.
Wow, that sounds incredibly beautiful. As you were talking, I could just feel that in my body, that the relief that people can actually hear from their loved ones. It just makes it's life-changing, isn't it? It's just life-changing to know that the loved one is going on and fine and okay. So another question I have is, within the records, do you feel drawn to a specific healing modality? Like if somebody comes along to have an Akashic record reading with you, do they also get a healing within the records? How does that work?
So generally what tends to happen is most people, again, not every single person, because there are some people that don't necessarily want a meditation, the record keepers and guides give me a very specific meditation for that person. And it always involves colours, generally involves the heart chakra, bringing in some ascended masters, Kuan Yin for the heart. And yes, I mean, I obviously work very much with crystals, so I always check with the record keepers and guides, and obviously with the person that I'm doing the reading for, if they're wanting to go down that kind of road, or they could even have crystal sensing one-to-one classes with me, where they can then learn how to tune in and help themselves at the end of the day. So they can tune in every day or however often a week, and the crystals will then be working to clear their body of negative energy and then recharge their body. And it's a very simple way, but you just need to be taught correctly, that's all. And also for my channeling work as well, I've had several people who have had really stuck things that say have come up in past lives, and I can then obviously, with the help of the record keepers and guides, I can see which past life it is, what needs clearing. So for me, it's definitely more the channeled healing, where they'll book in for a different session, but I will open up their records again so we can ask the record keepers and guides any questions that we have. And then it's a channeled healing with Lemurian, Atlantean, liquid crystals, and the ascended masters and angels, Kuan Yin. So it's all very, very amazing. And that's very much more for the those that are much more have had healing, for example. Whereas if they're starting with healing or crystals, then it would be more the crystal sensing one-to-one, or they can do both. But the channeled one is a much stronger one. But the guides and guardians always are more than happy to give them very specific meditations. If they do this for a few weeks, it will start recalibrating their system as recalibrating at this moment in time. So it is a healing within itself, which is lovely.
Wow. As you've been talking, my whole body feels like this work is so expansive for the client coming to you, or the wisdom seeker, I call them. I come from a corporate world, so I call people clients, but actually wisdom seekers come to you, and then they receive this beautiful healing, and then they expand, obviously. So that sounds really beautiful. So tell me, is there a specific wisdom seeker that touched your heart, or is there anything that that you felt after the reading you felt very moved?
Yes, I mean, there was one in particular that stood out because it had about 3 things going on in the reading, really. And it was a gentleman that came to me, and he had deceased people in his family that had gone through quite a lot of trouble in their lives, and he wanted to make sure, he asked some questions as to, are they okay now, that kind of thing, without giving any information away. And as well, it was very, very healing, because we went into a past life where he felt that he may have done things that may not have been very honoring to other people, but the record keepers and guides actually showed me that life taught him in his heart how to be compassionate. And this gentleman is so compassionate, such a lovely, lovely being. And it was such an immense healing for him, just in that one session, to know that his relatives were okay, and also to know that past life was meant to have happened. So then he was taught this amazing compassion, which he has now brought in to this lifetime. So it doesn't always have to be bad things, that we have to clear and that kind of thing. And then also at one point, I was saying, oh, your dad, who has passed, is giving you a rough piece of rose quartz. And he said, oh, what, this one, which was hidden from the camera, by the way. And then at another point, I said, oh, I'm getting shown a cherub from your mum. And he said, oh, what, this one? And it was just so beautiful. You couldn't have made it up. Do you know what I mean? It was just like all the signs. Not that I'm psychically on that side kind of thing, but it was just such a beautiful reading. If you needed the proof, it was all there. And he just said it was just so healing. And I just knew that with the help of the record keepers and guides, this gentleman had been healed of a lifetime of trauma that he'd gone through. And in one session, that's how much it cleared. And it was just so honoring to be part of that. It really was.
Wow. I think that is a very beautiful anecdotal, very beautiful story to tell us. And it actually just makes me feel how lucky he was and the guides are to have you to open up the records for them and help them with this transformation, this expansion, and everything. So very, very well done. And yeah, so I could look forward to hearing from you in the future as to how things are going. But yeah, we can leave it there for today and just continue to do such amazing work, Moira. Very well.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Okay, take care.
Take care.